Hello guys and welcome to my vlog. In this video I will show you my adventures in the Northeast, mostly in Massachusetts, New York, and a little bit in New Jersey. So right now I am flying to Boston, and as you can see it's a really pretty city. And this is my room where I stayed at the hotel, and by the way, all expenses were paid from my company Amazon Robotics where I worked. And this is the view from my window at the hotel. Isn't it pretty? I loved it. And then this is North Reading where I was staying. The city in Massachusetts. It was magnificent. I could not explain how pretty the trees were. And Boston was just rowdy and loud. But it had really pretty bridges, the Harvard Bridge, which you're seeing in the video right now. And he just broke the signal. Anyways, this is a rally, I'm thinking. And the first place where I stopped at was MIT in Boston, or not in Boston, in Cambridge. I went to another city on bicycle. Yes, I rode for 22 miles. And this is Cecil, which is kind of like my Hogwarts, where I would love to, go and study. And by the time I got to Harvard, it was really dark and I couldn't see anything. This is my first day at Amazon Robotics, and after that I went to this forest.
I came to the North Reading town forest, and it's closed because of COVID. So, as you can see, yep, that gate is closed. But, as you can also see, I'm also in, which means that, yes, I crossed the door because you can cross the door, it's not hard to cross the door. But anyways, so I came to the reading forest and it's actually really pretty. The trees are really tall.
And of course I decided to walk in even though it was getting dark. But it was fun. I fell in love with the forest so much that the very next day I went to another forest. And then another one. The only living creature I could find in the forest was these mice and a beaver. I had never been to forest before, and just like that I had never done sailing in my life, so I decided to hop on a ship and sail. It was so much fun. I've never had that much fun in my life ever. It was quiet and peaceful, and although I couldn't see the sunset due to clouds, the night view was beautiful. As if Boston adventures weren't enough, I decided to go to Salem the very next day. And we all know that Salem is famous for its witchcraft and wizardry, but I didn't know I would get a feeling of witchcraft as soon as I would hop off the car. And I also saw this famous witch house, which I don't know what it's famous for now. Oh, and I went to a museum as well, and I saw this performance, which was cool. And this was the best part of Salem. Salem somehow looked very similar to Istanbul because of its neighborhood and these little water bodies around the neighborhoods, and I've seen that in Turkish dramas as well. I heard that the train adventure are really fun in the Northeast because you get to watch beautiful scenery like this. And so I hopped on Amtrak from Massachusetts to New York, and I could not wait to see the dream city that I've always wanted to see my whole life. I arrived at New York at 12 p.m. but I forgot about Princeton University. That is also something I wanted to see in person my whole life. So I took a train back to New Jersey to go visit Princeton University, which is one of the IB schools. And I'm so glad that I made that decision to go to Princeton before New York, because if I hadn't, I would have regretted it. Just look at all the beautiful buildings. I then returned to New York around 2:30 p.m. and I crossed the Manhattan and the Brooklyn bridges, and man, the experience was wow. And I got lost.
This is all Macy's. All of it. All of it.
To be honest, I was pretty disappointed in New York, except for the fact that I saw Harry Potter, which was closed. All the shops were closed due to COVID. Only the lights were on. To me, New York was just a much better version of all those streets I've seen in Pakistan. And the weirdest part was that there were so many poor people eating food from the trash, and there was so many rich people slacking off. Looking at all the poverty in New York made me even cry a little bit. I could not believe what was happening there. I came back from New York around 1 p.m. and it was totally safe. I didn't get kidnapped, as you can see. And it was my last day in Boston, and it was my birthday as well. And it was a company social event as well, where we went to a farm in the outskirts of Boston to do some apple picking. The girl, who had never seen a single apple tree in her life, was exposed to hundreds of different kinds of apple trees. And to show off our engineering skills, we invented our own apple picker and brought it here with us, and it was successful.